Hey guys, so I'm going to walk around the property right now and show you. I've been working little bits in different areas, doing things as I could. It was almost 100 degrees today, so we spent a lot of time in the car and in the house. Tomorrow it's going to start cooling. Oh no, tomorrow it's still going to be hot. Tomorrow it's going to be almost 100 as well, and then it's going to start cooling down probably into the mid 80s and then the upper 70s again. So that'll be nice. So a couple days of non-productive garden days, but that's okay. We've got lots to do, and I'll tell you about one of the things I'm doing tomorrow in just a minute. So one thing we did yesterday, Emily and I got out here and we did all of the drip in these three temporary fall vegetable beds. So it was nice to get that done and have, you know, actually be able to water something now without a hose. It feels like something is permanent, even though ironically it's for the temporary beds. Something is, you know, there's some infrastructure now. So that's kind of cool. Last video, I told you that we were going to be kind of just repairing the chicken coop, giving them a little bit of a run, but really getting started on the patio cover. Now, I do have to correct something that I said in that video. I said that the cost of a permit to do the patio cover was going to be $1,300. I even thought that was high, even for California, when I was looking online and going through things. I was looking at the wrong thing. It's actually less than $100 for the permit. However, I still think I'm going to do everything I can to not get a permit. I've already re-planned it all so it can, you know, stick within the parameters of no permit. So that's what I'm going to do. And it actually might be done a little faster, a lot faster than I thought. My brother-in-law is coming down next week, and he's going to help me get started on this. He'll be here for the weekend, and we will see how much we can actually get done. Maybe the whole thing. Is that ridiculously over-optimistic? I don't know. Knowing me, probably so. But we will get a big chunk done, heavy lifting, things like that I really do need help with. So just to get started, I'm really, even though I cannot stand giving up control, a lot of you really kind of pushed me, along with my wife, to really hire things done that just don't need to be done by me. Even though in my type A brain, everything needs to be done by me. One of the things that I was toying with hiring done is just removing the roof or the ceiling off of this patio cover so we can get started when my brother-in-law gets here. Well, I hopped up on the ladder, and I actually, if you can see, I started taking a little bit off. I wanted to just see how easy it was, and it was so easy. Now, all the junk that was up there is down here now. But in terms of taking it off, I can do this probably in 2 to 3 hours. So I'm just going to go ahead and do it myself, save the money, make sure that the wood is taken down in a way that I can reuse it. If you hire somebody, you know, you don't know. Now, I got to show you something that I found this week. I've had the Monstera deliciosas covered almost ever since we've been here because it's been hot, or the morning sun has been beating on them, and they don't look that great. However, there is new growth coming, and it looks just fine, but I'm excited about one thing. A couple of months ago, I did a video on the one Monstera deliciosa fruit that I was able to harvest. The only one I've ever been able to harvest, the only one that's ever happened. Well, was I surprised when I looked under the covering, the shade cloth that I had on here, and saw the same Monstera plant that I brought from the old house, the same plant, had not one, not two, but 3 blooms. So the leaves don't look great. They're getting sunburned, but they're hanging in. Take a look. 1, 2, and a third one coming on. I am so excited. If you watched that video before, you know how excited that makes me because those are some really delicious fruit. It also looks like the 2 plumerias that I was able to bring from the other house are doing fine. They got a little bit squishy, not squishy, but just kind of wrinkly, and you could tell they were not getting enough water. But ever since about a week ago, they've firmed up, and I think we're going to save them, and things are going to be okay. I brought a rubber tree from the old house. Now, right now, it's in a tiny pot, and it's just a little sprig of growth here and one down here. But I'm going to plant that right here in the ground. It's actually a really huge tree, so it's going to cover this entire area, give some canopy to the jungle, shade the patio cover in the morning. So as you can see, we do have some major advancement in this area. You can see that the top path terrace is going to be there, dips down 15 by 26 foot terrace. It's going to hop down another 2 feet, another 15-foot terrace, hop down another 2 feet, and another 15-foot terrace will take you right about to that first fence there. And then the fence, beyond the fence is our property as well, so we can expand if we need to that way. On the last video, I told you about a brand new best friend that I have that owns a tractor, and he actually brought it over this weekend to help me take some firewood. We've got tons of logs around here, and his in-laws actually sell firewood. So I was more than happy to help him take as much as he wanted over to their property so they could use that. And while he was here, he actually, he brought his tractor and he was able to kind of do a little bit of work, terracing, just showing me kind of how it was going to work. He took out a big dead bush for me, and it was kind of fun. It kind of let me see what's going to be happening. So right now, the goal for this area for me is to build the retaining walls. And I found a couple of different options that I'm going to be looking into. I would really like to have them done by the end of October. And again, I hope that's realistic, but there's a lot to be done. I sat down and kind of wrote out a timeline of what I needed to accomplish by the end of the year. A lot of fruit trees that we grow here are best put in January, bare root. That means I need to have where they're going to go ready by January, because I don't want to wait another year to be able to put in fruit trees. A lot of trees, I want to try to figure out where a lot of trees are going to go, because, you know, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is right now. So I'm figuring all of that out, and I'm trying to line up the projects to be, you know, in a good order and leave me plenty of time so I don't feel rushed or get stressed out. Is it the end of the world if I miss some deadlines? No, but I'm trying to keep it realistic so I can finish them. A lot of you really liked my Espalier apple trees and lemon tree at the old house. They were against the garage wall. And I've had a lot of you ask if I'm going to have Espalier fruit trees here against any of the walls. Yes, I am going to have plenty of Espalier fruit trees. They won't be against the walls. They will be in the French garden. French gardens are very manicured. They're very precise. They're very controlled. Espalier is a French word, and that is the reason, because they are controlled, artistically beautiful trees. And so I will be doing pears and apples, and I will be putting lemon trees in the Mediterranean garden. They won't be espaliered. So over here, I'm going to plant a fig tree, and a pomegranate tree. So it'll be part of the Mediterranean garden. And then part of the tropical garden, I'll be putting in a couple of avocado trees. I would love to have all these done. Like I said, the bare root ones, which are your stone fruits, and apple trees by January. And then the avocado, fig, and pomegranate probably, you know, sometime in the spring, early spring. So we actually made headway on the front seasonal bed that I mentioned last time. I've got all the drip in. It's ready to plant. And tomorrow happens to be my birthday. And Emily asked me what I wanted to do for my birthday. And I said, because we're new to this area, I have no idea what nurseries are where. And so I'd like to scout some out. I've been to Home Depot and Lowe's many times since we've been here, but I haven't been to any other nurseries besides that. So real quick, if you are from North San Diego County or know North San Diego County, let me know in the comments if there's some nice nurseries that you like to shop from. Wholesale would be great. I'm not necessarily looking at like boutique nurseries where, you know, it's $25 for a 6-pack of whatever. I've had some comments, actually. People basically yelling at me at the audacity that I have to have tropical plants in a state with a drought. So let's just have a really quick conversation about water use, water saving, and what plants I should and should not be able to grow in my own garden. Here's my thought. Tell me if I'm wrong. First of all, the people, there were a couple in particular that were very downright rude. One actually unsubscribed or said she was unsubscribing because I should not be using plants that use a lot of water. And so this particular viewer, she is the exact same one who screamed at me and said she was unsubscribing about all the eucalyptus trees that I said I was going to take down. Eucalyptus trees are one of the thirstiest trees on planet Earth. They do not belong in any type of area with drought, and yet here we are surrounded by them. I said I was going to take some out, and she had an issue. And then she also had an issue with tropical plants. So, first of all, you got to know what plants really use water and what don't. Second of all, you got to know that there are tropical plants that actually need a lot of water, but most of them actually don't. And if where you're planting them is prepared the right way, they actually take less water, for sure less water than a lawn, and they actually take less water than my vegetable garden. Case in point, I wanted to do a little experiment before I went crazy down here with my tropical garden. And so I built and I should have filmed this, but I didn't. But it's pretty simple and self-explanatory. So let me go down here really quick. I wanted to, because these eucalyptus trees are going to provide shade for the tropical garden, which it needs. However, they will take the water away from anything that's planted beneath them. So I built this test raised bed with just some eucalyptus logs that were down here. I lined it with plastic. I filled it with compost, and I mixed in some water absorbing granules. I did a video a year or two ago about babies' diapers and the water absorbing granules that are in there that you can mix in like potted plants to hold on to water. Now, some of this growth on these ferns that has died is actually old growth that it actually died before I planted them. They were sitting up in pots, and we had to go back to our old house, and it was hot, and they almost died. Put them down here. Everything's doing good. My red banana from the old house is actually sprouts coming out the top, so that's going to live. And then I put some Monsteras in here as well. Now, the top of the mulch looks dry. It's been hot. 90 in the 90s. Probably 3 or 4 days since I watered this last, which was a week ago. We've had 90-degree temperatures. So I watered this a week ago. I'm gonna just dig just that much, and there's already moisture. I dig down further, and we've actually got a lot of moisture. Dig down further, and we've actually got wet soil. Wet soil that probably doesn't need to be watered for another several days, maybe even another week. So I'm totally okay doing my tropical garden. In the meantime, I'm going to be teaching you guys water saving tricks and tips that you can use whether you have a tropical garden, a English garden. It doesn't matter what kind of garden you have. Another person said I should just grow succulents and cactus. Well, you know what? Succulents and cactus are great, but not for me. That's not all I want to grow in 1.3 acres. If I wanted to just grow that, I would have probably stayed where I was and just switched everything out. And like I told her, and she wasn't rude about it, I said, you know, tropical plants are my passion. They've been my passion for a long time. I'm going to grow succulents. I'm going to grow tons of water wise plants in my Mediterranean garden. I'm going to mix them into the English garden, the French garden. Everywhere around here is going to have water wise plants, drought tolerant plants. And I think that the ideas and the tips and the tricks that I give, however many thousands of people are watching me, that is going to save millions of gallons of water. So if I want to have some tropical plants, I think I should be allowed to do that. This rant has gone on way too long. The last thing I wanted to talk with you about is the video schedule for this channel. I've been trying to figure out how I want to do it and what I want to include and kind of the scheduling of things. And I think what I'm going to do is film a week in advance. On the Sunday, after all the filming, I'm going to put together an overview video of everything I did that week. And then maybe at the end of that Sunday video, I'll do, a garden to table recipe or just something fun. And then that following week, maybe Tuesday, Thursday, or Tuesday, Friday, take some of the things that I did in that overview video on Sunday and break them down a little bit more. So if I'm, putting in drip, or if I'm building the chicken coop, or if I am building the shutters for the front of the house or the window boxes, kind of do longer breakout videos. So while we're doing the walkthrough on Sunday, I can say, hey, if you like the way this looks, check out Tuesday's video, and then you'll know to watch for Tuesday, right? So let me know what you think of that. Also, let me know what you'd like to see on this channel, what you're really hoping to get out of actually being a subscriber of Next Level Homestead. Emily's putting together some holiday craft ideas, so maybe for fall, for Christmas, winter, and then spring. So we've got a lot of ideas kind of running around our heads, but we want to know what you, the viewer, want to see. So definitely let us know in the comments. We'd appreciate it, and I will see you next time.